Okay. Hi, my name is Peter, and today I will be refuting Maddie's speech. A little recap of her speech. Her proposition is that babies deserve the right to life, and so abortion should be prohibited. And her secondary claims include that abortions take away babies' lives, abortion violates civil rights, and that the babies feel pain inside of a mother's womb during an abortion. I would like to start out by stating that abortion should be allowed. Now, responding to her first claim, abortion takes away babies' lives, I would agree that this is true. There is fact to that. However, no baby should come into this world unwanted. According to the Children's Rights Organization, on any given day, there are nearly 428,000 children in foster care in the United States. Now, in 2015, over 670,000 children spent time in U.S. foster care, and on average, children remain in state care for nearly two years, and 6% of children in foster care have languished there for over 5 years. Growing up without a parent or constantly going in and out of the foster care is not the way anyone wants to live. So why would we want to force these kids to live through that? So many people worry about a baby that we forget the negative consequences that will be thrust upon the mother. A University of California at San Francisco study found that women who turned away from abortion clinics were 3 times more likely to be below the poverty line 2 years later than women who were able to obtain abortions. 76% of the turnaways ended up on unemployment benefits compared with the 44% of women who had abortions. The same study found that women who were unable to obtain abortions were more likely to stay in a relationship with an abusive partner than women who had an abortion, and were more than twice as likely to become victims of domestic violence. These women who are denied abortions are more likely to become unemployed, to be on public welfare, to be below the poverty line, and to become victims of domestic violence. Without abortions, not only the baby's life, but also the mother's life is negatively affected. Now, to continue to Maddie's second claim that abortion violates civil rights, I would like to disprove this by showing that abortion is constitutional. Now, in Maddie's speech, she mentioned of the Roe v. Wade trial, which decided that the Constitution gives a guarantee of certain areas or zones of privacy, and that this right of privacy is broad enough to encompass a woman's decision whether or not to terminate a pregnancy. The Supreme Court has declared abortion to be a fundamental right guaranteed by the Constitution. In addition, Maddie failed to mention that the unborn babies are still protected by the law. According to the Abortion Pro-Con organization, who has thoroughly analyzed the Constitution and laws regarding abortion, the Federal Unborn Victims of Violence Act was enacted to protect unborn children from assault and murder. It states that under federal law, anybody intentionally killing or attempting to kill unborn children should be punished for intentionally killing or attempting to kill a human being. This shows that even though abortion is allowed, there are precautions against wrongfully hurting or killing an unborn child. Abortion should be the only legal way. The final point Maddie has in her speech is that babies feel pain inside of a mother's womb during abortion. Unfortunately, I would agree that this is not true. My research shows me that during most abortion, fetuses are incapable of feeling pain. According to a 2010 review by Britain's Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, most neurologists believe that the cortex is necessary for pain perception. The cortex does not become functional until at least the 26th week of a fetus's development, long after most abortions are performed. This finding was endorsed in 2012 by an American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, which state that there is no legitimate scientific information that supports the statement that a fetus experiences pain. In addition, according to Stuart W. G. Derbyshire, PhD and senior lecturer at the University of Birmingham, the flinching and other reactions seen in fetuses when they detect pain stimuli are mere reflexes, not an indication that the fetus is perceiving or feeling anything. With abortion, we can avoid worsening the life of the mother and bringing an unwanted baby into the world. In addition, the baby does not feel pain during the abortion, and not only that, the Supreme Court has ruled abortion being a fundamental right guaranteed by the Constitution. And so abortion should not be prohibited. Thank you.
Okay, structurally everything is fine. It's easy to follow. The first point seems to, we had an issue with the advocate's claim dealing with some value arguments and some policy arguments simultaneously, and we have sort of the same sort of thing that's going on here, what the consequences of abortion are in the long run. The issue of potential harms to mothers, long-term impact on children, that's a reasonable argument to include. Some of the data that you have, I think, is a little bit problematic. The stuff about kids going into and out of foster care, the connection between that and abortion is not very well explained. There is some information on a little bit later in that argument that talks about other issues that do correlate with access to abortion related to the lifestyle of the mother or unemployment or, like you said, I think it's the violence against women in their long-term relationships. I thought that was okay information. So you give us some explanation about what the reasons would be in that particular situation. On the constitutionality issue, on the second point, the Roe versus Wade information, I think, is important to include. I think there needs to be updates about subsequent court decisions on that issue because there are some restrictions that have been placed on access to abortion that are not consistent with Roe versus Wade, but they have been upheld subsequently, so the courts are a little malleable on what they've interpreted as being constitutional or unconstitutional. The act that you cite seems a little inconsistent with the position that you're arguing. You seem to acknowledge that, but I guess your position is that it just means that they're protected against any violence other than the abortion, and so in essence you're saying that the abortion is different for some reason, and I think that that's a little unclear as to why that makes it a valid argument. The pain argument, I thought that you had some evidence that applies to the argument. There's also an issue suggesting that the data that the advocate might be using on these points is really about reflexes rather than pain issues. I don't remember what the advocate's information was specifically. If it is just the reaction things that you're talking about here, then that would make sense. The data about the cortex, though, seems like it's applicable to that particular argument. All right, thank you.